Thank you for attending the 25th anniversary for Emporia Main Street. We're going to have the opportunity to talk to a lot of different people that are going to explain all the wonderful things that have happened with the program over the past 25 years and where we're going in the future. But we couldn't have done it without you. In the beginning, we had kind of a humble start up to the Emporia Main Street program that was really driven by the Downtown Business Association, with over 40% vacancy rate and people struggling to determine what we could do to influence entrepreneurship in the town. They looked to the Main Street program and process to create a transformation inside our city core. And that transformation has influenced not only the core, but all of Emporia and the region.
Well, when I moved here, they had several businesses that decided that they would participate in Main Street. But one difficulty to overcome was that the folks that had sold it to the businesses downtown told them that once the Main Street manager got here, they would do it all on their own and that there wouldn't be any volunteering needing to be done, which we all know is completely not true. But we were able to finally kind of get them on board and see that it could be done by one person alone. This Main Street community has grown because of all of the dedication of the business leaders that we have in the community, as well as the store owners and even just the community. I think people are really proud of the way our downtown looks, and definitely of all of the different retail that we have and all the wonderful events and fun things that we offer. It is becoming the hub of the community, and we're also very fortunate in the fact that Emporia State University is at the end of our Main Street. Brings our community in with the campus, and it's just a wonderful place to live, and I'm really glad that I got to be a part of it.
So Main Street is an economic and community development approach, and the 4-point approach and 8 guiding principles are why Main Streets are successful. If we stick with our approach, which has been proven in 2,200 different Main Street communities throughout the United States, it's been shown over time to create sustainable growth opportunities. That 4-point approach includes organization, which is our board of directors, and its grassroots volunteers coming together to make their community better.
Main Street's been such a hardworking and productive organization because they're made up of a bunch of doers in the community. They don't just sit around and discuss big ideas, they actually move on them and make things happen, and that's why Main Street's been able to make such a big impact in this community.
Over about the last 10 years, I have seen a drastic change in the downtown. It's become much more vibrant, much more active, and I think that a lot of that has to do with not only the leadership that comes from Emporia Main Street, but also our committed community members that really are invested in making positive changes in our downtown and in our community as a whole. And I think having such a strong set of volunteers that are willing to give up some of their time is one of the best aspects of this organization.
Promotion, which is events and activities that you see, but it's also promoting the community and having a distinct marketing advantage that we look at by trying to incorporate the unique elements of our community and narratives to people both within the community and people within the region that we're trying to draw to Emporia.
I really think that we can be known as the most entrepreneurial city in Kansas, and I think we're like this close to being there. And with Main Street and the volunteers at Main Street and all of the great businesses that are committed to continuing the work that Main Street started 25 years ago, I think we can do it.
The impacts that Emporia Main Street has had in our downtown and our community are probably numerous over 25 years. Growing up in Emporia, I can remember the times when businesses were moving out and moving out of our downtown, and it was a lot more sparse, and we had a lot of empty storefronts in the late 80s and early 90s when Main Street kind of began, and what that need for our community was, and what that feeling of loss was, and not having that district. And over the years, over 25 years, and a lot of hard work from board members, from staff members, from community members, from organizations, we've been able to build a strong and vibrant downtown that rivals any in the state of Kansas, and I would argue any in the Midwest and possibly the United States. For culture and business and commerce and activity, Main Street has really become a destination place, not just for the locals, but for the region as well.
Design is all about the aesthetics and the science of shopping. So our design committee will look at the historic bones of our downtown buildings and what we need to do to create more housing and retail and services and restaurants that create the vibrant community that we want to have here in Emporia.
I think Main Street has been instrumental in the facelift, if nothing else, of the downtown. I mean, that was such a huge investment, that iced tea grant that was, again, I lose track of time, but all the streetscape and everything. And for me, I felt like it kind of took off there, that people started seeing, oh, this really can be a destination type of place. And with the additional assistance of things like the incentives without walls and business enhancement type of loan programs, I think it's really helped downtown take off.
Well, certainly if the first 25 years are any indication of what the next 25 years look like, Emporia is in for a really exciting time. Some of those things, I mean, downtown development is just a continual evolution. So finding opportunities to rehab, finding opportunities to save some of the historic structures, and finding those places where some buildings are just going to have to go away and start fresh. So I think continuing to chip away at the old and then also build some new so that downtown core continues to thrive and energize the community as a whole.
And then something that's called economic vitality on the national scale that we call business enhancement in Emporia studies the actual market, determines the best way to create additional resources for entrepreneurs and businesses that are starting up or expanding, and finding out those educational or logistical support opportunities that we need to engage to help make our entrepreneurs more successful.
I love the fact that the majority of the things that they do is for the business community, and it actually works. I mean, we can see direct results in businesses making money during certain events. You know, we don't ever say no to anything. It's like, okay, how do we make it happen? And we make it happen, and it seems to be successful. Really good, whatever, track record of that.
But some of my favorite things that Main Street does is help with entrepreneurial development. You know, one of the key things that entrepreneurs need when they start businesses is capital. A lot of those folks don't have resources to immediately invest in a business. They have the dream, they have the idea, they've got the plan, they need the capital. So the fact that Main Street has found ways to have zero interest loans, very, very low interest loan programs, all those kind of things, that's one of my favorite things that we do, especially as a board of directors at Main Street, is that we get to see these plans, we get to see these ideas, and then we get to say, hey, here's some capital to see that thing through.
And beyond the 4 points, we have 8 guiding principles. We have to be comprehensive. So you'll notice that Main Street doesn't just do promotional activities. They don't just do economic development. They don't just do historic preservation. They do a combination of different things. Incremental. This didn't happen all at once within downtown Emporia or the city of Emporia. We couldn't negate a 40% vacancy rate overnight. It took time and incremental steps to achieve. Self-help. We understand that nobody's coming from outside the community. There is no white knight coming to save us. Communities have to save themselves. And building by building owners have to invest in themselves. Entrepreneurs have to start their own businesses and fund them. We have to take a self-help sort of mentality to create the community that people want to invest in. Partnerships. We have to find partners that are equal partners in work, in monetary support, and in focus, trying to create a better community and work with them on a consistent basis. Identifying and capitalizing on existing assets. Things like ESU and figuring out how to engage the student body, or the Flint Hills and working with the Dirty Kansas group in order to take advantage of that natural asset, or the fact that we have great businesses like Dynamic Discs and encouraging people to participate in disc golf, or just taking advantage of the natural asset of being on the intersection of several highways. If we find those naturally occurring assets and can exploit them for the good of the community, then we can make sustainable growth. Quality, not throwing up just a Butler building here or there, using quality materials and quality planning practices to have long-term impacts. Change, which is scary in the Midwest, but we have to constantly change the things that we're doing, the programs and events and activities that we're participating in. And we have to constantly push change so that we can keep up with social changes and technology changes and changes in economics and produce sustainable change for the community. Implementation, and that's the biggest sort of difference in Main Street from other approaches. We implement and get tangible results based off of the programs that we engage. So we can talk about different problems and we can vision and mission till the end of days, but it doesn't matter if we can't implement the different programs that actually have an impact on the community. Something that's been recently added to the list by the National Main Street Center is sustainability, which just makes sense because we want a sustainable ecology, we want a sustainable economy, and we want the ability to sustain our community as it continues to grow incrementally. Slow and steady wins the race, and sustainability means that the Emporia that we know and love today can be around for the next 25 years for Main Street, or the next 100 years, or the next 500 years as we grow a better community.
Hello, Emporia. This is Mary Helmer. I so wish I could be there with you to celebrate 25 years of Main Street in Emporia, Kansas, but I'm speaking at the Preservation Conference in Mobile, Alabama this week. Congratulations on 25 years. I have so many fond memories of my time as Mary Main Street in Emporia. The Taste, Welcome Back Block Party, Great American Market, Freedom Fest, St. Pat's Committee, Brown Bag Concerts, Live in the Lot, Breakfast with Santa, Christmas Downtown, the Granada Theater renovation and grand reopening, Streetscape, Start Your Own Business classes, and let's not forget the Great American Main Street Award. The list goes on and on. I often tell groups my favorite job ever was being the Main Street Director in Emporia. I made great friends, wonderful memories, and most importantly, we got things done. 10 years is a lifetime in the world of Main Street Directors, but I loved every minute of it. So raise a glass and toast yourselves. You have definitely earned it. Here's to another 25 years of Main Street success in Emporia. Miss y'all. Take care. Love ya. Bye.
Main Street's had 25 years of outstanding leadership, both from a staff perspective as well as from a volunteer perspective. So in order for Main Street to continue that, we're going to have to find ways to continue to get great staff that's dedicated and passionate and loves the Main Street concept and loves the Main Street idea, as well as that next generation of volunteers who step into those roles and say, you know, this is our core, this is our community, we want to see it grow, we want to see it thrive, we want to see an Emporia next that's going to be even better than the Emporia of the past. So anything that we can do, I guess, as a community to support Main Street and to encourage them to keep on trucking away will ultimately end up benefiting us because Main Street's past successes certainly show us that when it comes to investing in entrepreneurial enterprises, when it comes to, you got a great idea, some people want to do a small bike race over here. How can we maybe take that small bike race to a bike race that has over 2,000 participants? Main Street's been a part of that since the very beginning. So I think maintaining and continuing to find opportunities to grow and expand on awesome ideas are certainly going to be things that are going to carry us forward to that next golden anniversary in the 50 years.